We have a machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. How to learn the Gemara Megillah Daf Tezayin Amud Beis. Divrei Shalom ve'emes malamid shetzricha sirtet kamita shel Torah. According to Rashi, it means like a Sefer Torah. By the way, Rashi's lashon is Sefer Torah Atzmai. Everybody mutches with the brisker up. Why did Rashi say Sefer Torah Atzmai? Should have said Torah Atzmai. This is one of the more obvious ha'aras on the brisker up. The Yesh Liyashiv, of course. But the bottom line is, Rashi learns that it means literally like a Sefer Torah. Tosfos says that Kamita Shel Torah means the mezuzah. And it's very sasam. It's very sasam. Why would the mezuzah be referred to as Amita Shel Torah? But even more so, Megillah requires sirta like the mezuzah. As if there's some connection between the mezuzah and between the story of Purim. Right? It sounds like there's some connection. What's shaykhis? Ma inyan Megillah Esther Itzel HaMezuzah. To quote the Heilig Chassam Sofer in one of his drashas, this was actually, ironically, a Chanukah drasha in the year Tov Kuf Pei Vav in Prishbarg. So the Chassam Sofer brings Shitas Tosfos that what does it mean? Megillah Tzricha Sirta Kamita Shel Torah. It means like a mezuzah, and his lashon is V'tzarich Tavlin. Needs a little bit of spice. My time Atala Megillah v'mezuzah. Why would we compare the Megillah to the mezuzah? So the Heilig Chassam Sofer said he said that it's Yidua. We know the Gemara Mesechtes Avodah Zarah Daf Yud Amud Beis. The Gemara says Unkelis bar Kloinimis Igayer. Unkelis, as in Targum Unkelis, he was Megayer. And Shada Keser Gunda Duremoya Basrei. And the Romans, they tried bringing him back because he was a very important person, and it was a big bizayon for them that he crossed over and he became a Jew. So they tried wheeling him back. The problem is, every time a Roman would come and he would talk to Unkelis would somehow convince him to be a Yid, and they were just losing people left and right. And finally they said that you're going to go to Unkelis, you're going to take him, but you're not going to say one word to him. Don't even breathe, right? You literally have to go, don't exhale. Ad kedei kach. And the Gemara says, it didn't work. This is the last part of the story. So, Shadar Gunda Achrina Basri, they finally sent like the last troops to come get him. Amalahu. So, he told them, like, Tishtoi midi behadeh. Right? Don't talk to me. As they were walking, so Unkelis is walking out of this door. They're walking him out. He sees a mezuzah. So what does he do when he sees the mezuzah? He kisses the mezuzah. He put his hands on it. He actually didn't kiss it, right? We have read on that. But he put his hand on the mezuzah. So my high. So Amrule, right? My hayos. They said, right? He said, do you know why I just put my hand on the mezuzah? And they said, no, we don't know. He said, are you curious? He said, a little. He says, we're not allowed to talk, right? You just tell me. Why did you do that? Amrule says, I'm going to tell you. He says, look around the world. Go to any royal palace. So you're going to find that the king is sitting inside, and he's going to have watchmen that are going to be standing outside. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his avadim, Klal Yisrael, they sit in their houses. He watches them from the outside. When the Chaver heard this, they were Megayer, and Sulay Shada Basrei, and the Romans said, let's just write off Unkelis. We're not getting it back, and Zolzan, let it be the way it is. But Tzedek Chassam Sofer, what is the symbolism? What is the significance of the mezuzah? The significance of the mezuzah is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Avodav mibefnim. The Avodim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu are inside. For whom Mishamra mibachutz. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is standing and he's watching guard for us. Imagine, we're the Eved. We're the nobodies. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu stands in front and he guards our house. Hashem Yishmar, Tzeis Chuvayecha. We come, we go. Hashem is always protecting us. He's always watching us. And that's what's symbolized with the mezuzah. So the Chassam Sofer said like this. He says, we know that when the Yidden had a Beis HaMikdash, when it was Shanim Kitikuna, so the Shechina was Shayr in the Beis HaMikdash. And the Mishnah says in the beginning of Masechtas Midos, B'chaf Daled Mekoymas HaKoyanim V'Alavim Shayr in the Beis HaMikdash. There were 24 posts in the Beis HaMikdash with the Kohanim and the Levim. They would stand guard and they would watch. It's covered for the Beis HaMikdash that they're watching and they're protecting to show that the Melech is B'fnim and the Shechina is over there. When it's Shanim Kitikuna and when there's a Beis HaMikdash, so then the Chassam Sofer says the Melech is mi B'fnim and we're Avodav, we're mi B'chutz. But when Klal Yisrael doesn't have a Beis HaMikdash, and when we don't have this Hashoyes HaShechina, and when we find ourselves in a matzav of Golus, when sometimes we need to hide in our house because what's going on outside is very scary, and what's going outside is very, very dangerous. Zok HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to watch you then, and I'm going to be looking out for you. I'm going to be standing guard for you. You stood guard for me once upon a time. Now I'm going to be standing guard for you, and that's symbolized with the mezuzah. So the Chassam Sofer said that really from the time that the Yidden came into Eretz Yisrael, it really wasn't so negeya this Inyan. He says, but then they went to Golus, and when they went to Golus, they found themselves already in Bavel, and they found themselves in Shushan Abira, and during that Kufa, it was very, very, very dangerous. Ad Kidei Kach, there was already a final solution, an edict that was already passed by Haman and Achashverosh, and the situation was going to be very, very bad. And the Yidden were hiding inside because they knew that there was a date that every single Eini Yehudi had circled on his calendar where their life was going to be a tremendous risk. And the truth is, the Yidden even deserved it, the Gemara says in Masechtas Megillah. Right? Chazal say, what did Klal Yisrael do that they deserve Kloya, the Talmidim, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai? There's different reasons, Shtachvul, Etzel, and whatever. But the bottom line is, on some level, this is actually something that they deserve. Yet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was like ma'astim, v'loi ga'altim l'chaloisam l'hafi brisi itam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I'm going to watch you, and I'm going to make sure that nothing's going to happen to you, that ultimately you are going to be saved. The ultimate expression, said the Chassam Sofer, where Avodah was mi b'fnim, the Yidden were hiding for their lives. There's a final solution, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mi b'chutz. That's something that played itself out when? It played itself out with the Purim story. He says, that's why Megillah has to have sirtut ka'amita shel Torah like the mezuzah. He says, you want to know what the kesher, drush, but what the kesher is between Megillah Esther and the mezuzah, they both symbolize this inyan. They both symbolize that it doesn't matter how low we fall, and it doesn't matter how bleak the situation is. But remember, we could be hiding in our house, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Yishmar Tzeischol Vayecha Meyatav Yadoyla. In a Zman of Golus, we should be watching the Eibishter. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that's the way it is when it's Shonim Kitikuna. But Laida, when he eats in Golus, and we don't have that level of Ashoy Sashchina, and Fakad, we're the ones that need the Shmira. Zakta Kadosh Baruch Hu, I got you. That's symbolized by the mezuzah, like Unkelis Bar Klonimus said, B'Lashoinai Targum Hazov Shalai, to the Roman officers. That's something that's part and parcel of the story of the Megillah. That's the Tavlin, said the Chassam Sofer, that we need to add to a little bit of a deeper appreciation and understanding of why it is we would ever compare Megillas Esther to the Mezuzah.